Hey everybody, Adam here with eTrailer. Today on my 2001 Chevrolet Tahoe, we're going to be taking a look at the Wheelmasters Vision Plus extendable towing mirrors. So going over a couple speed bumps on our test course, and I do not see any play on the towing mirror. Usually with the universal towing mirrors that just wrap around your factory mirror, you see a little bit of movement. With these, with the straps, this thing is nice and solid, so you don't have to worry about this thing rattling around whenever you're going down the road or taking over some pretty hefty speed bumps with quite the load behind us, and they are staying put. As I'm driving around, I keep catching myself looking at my factory mirror just because I can see the front of the Mantis and the back of the Mantis, but on a slight turn, I can see the back of the Mantis with the extendable towing mirror, but definitely not the whole thing. So that's not what you're going to get with this mirror, but there are a bunch of benefits that come with it. We are going to get two different types of mirrors. So if you notice in the factory mirror, you can see pretty much everything, but on the other mirror, it's a little bit more zoomed in. So with normal factory mirrors, everything's gonna look a little bit closer than they appear. With the plain mirror on our extended towing mirror, that's gonna give us a completely perfect representation of what we see here. So what you see is where it's at. It doesn't really do a really great job of seeing the whole rig as a whole, but from your towing mirror to the factory mirror, I think it's a good mix to give you a lot more visibility than just using your factory mirror. First things first, you want to just familiarize yourself with all the components of our towing mirror. We're going to have the mirror, we have a little bit of hardware, and the rest of the assembly. So first thing you want to do is find this little hole right there. So that's where the mirror is going to go. So we're going to have the little reel facing up, and we're going to have this go like that. But what we're going to need to do is we're going to have two lock washers. They need to be in between the bolt head and the assembly. So go like this. And we can go ahead and put the mirror on. And once we get it threaded, you can just use a hand tool or something like that. I really don't think we need to use an impact or anything like that. Threads in real nice and easy. And to get those lock nuts engaged, we're going to take a 10 mil and tighten it up. Next thing, we want to find the channel to where our window is going to go up and down, and that's the channel that these lips are going to go in. They are coated, so you don't really have to worry about it scratching anything up. It's not a very big coating, but it also has a powder coated finish, so that's also going to help it from scratching anything. So you want to go ahead and put that into the slot. You can kind of see and go down and feel where the glass is, and that's where we're going to go. Kind of like that. And then we're going to go down low on the door. It's going to help if we open up the door just a little bit. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our bottom clamp, and it does have a little bit more coating than the top one does. It's a little sleeve that goes on top of it, and then a little bit of foam, so it's not going to scratch anything up. We're going to put this down underneath our little lip of our door, and then what we're going to do is kind of hold it upright, and now we can kind of get the mirror situated to where we think we want it, extend out if we need to, and we want to push it up as forward as we can. So right where it hits that mirror, and we're going to line up the little hook down low, and then as we hold it up, we're going to go ahead and tighten her down. And we want to make sure that this buckle is going to be nice and flat. So the padded section is going to be up against the vehicle, just so we don't scratch anything. We don't want to damage nothing. So once that's done, we can go ahead and make it nice and level, just like this, and tighten up this knob. And that is pretty much it. Then what you want to do, obviously, just get in and start adjusting it. Obviously, we're not going to do it on the passenger side. You want to make sure it's visible on the driver's side, but once you sit over there, either have your passenger adjust it for you, or you can kind of get an idea of where you want it, and it all just depends on what you're hauling. So just go ahead and set it up. So I have them adjusted in the general area that I think the trailer is going to be, but I'm going to go out back. We have a bunch of different trailers and stuff. I'm going to hook it up and adjust based on what I have behind me. One thing I noticed whenever I was backing on up on my factory mirror, I can see both the truck and the camper I'm hooking up to, but on the extending towing mirror, I don't really see as much. You can probably just see probably half of my body in the towing mirror. That's because it's a plane mirror. It's going to accurately represent what distance and what it really looks like in that mirror, because you can notice on the factory mirror, everything looks a lot bigger. You can see the truck, you can see the whole rig, and you can see my whole body. So that is something to keep in mind. It's not going to be the same exact type of mirror that your factory mirror is, but it is going to be good with both your factory mirror and your towing mirror. It's going to give a nice combination to give you a little bit more view. I've hauled a lot of different things to a lot of different places, and I use a universal towing mirror, and it does do a little bit more than what this one does. I'm not confident when I'm backing up majority of the time, and this towing mirror doesn't really add to that confidence much at all. Just because these mirrors aren't my cup of tea doesn't mean it's not going to get the job done for you. So let's go ahead and talk about some specs. So from this section of the mirror all the way out, just to the center of this bolt, so it's going to telescope out to 17 inches. But we're going to have a little bit more, so all the way out to the end of our mirror is going to be about 22 inches, and that's because the whole entire mirror itself is going to be about 9.5 inches wide by 6 3/4 inches tall, and the mirror face itself is going to be 9 inches wide by 6 inches tall. We are going to have a lot of adjustments with this mirror. Can tilt side to side just like that, back and forth, and that's just because it has a ball in the bottom, so it's just going to be able to rotate around that ball, and it is fairly tight, but it isn't that difficult to move, so it's not going to rattle whenever you're going down the road and get all sideways on you. So that is always nice, so you don't have to readjust all the time, especially if you're hauling by yourself. Passenger side is kind of tough to do on the road. So looking at the back, we're going to have a nice chrome finish, so if you do have chrome mirrors, it's going to match that. I don't, so it doesn't, but still looks good. As far as construction goes, we're going to have a lot of pieces that are just going to be plated in chrome, and down here is just going to be an aluminum rod, and that's going to be what goes in and out to adjust what kind of width you're looking to get. And of course, we're going to have a black powder coated finish all along the rest of the housing. So if you do plan on leaving it on your car and it gets rained on, snowed on, whatever it may be, it isn't going to rust away over time, which is awesome. And another adjustment that we have is down here, this little knob. By loosening that, we can get the height that we need to make it nice and level with our factory towing mirror. And that's always nice to have the adjustments just to get the perfect fit. So it's not a custom fit mirror, but you can make it and adjust it to custom fit your vehicle. We are going to have a nylon strap, which this isn't going to scratch our paint, but if you do have a dirty vehicle, I highly recommend cleaning this area, because the strap isn't going to cause any scratches, but it's the material underneath, like rocks, sand, stuff like that, that eventually will start to wear away at your paint. So be mindful of that. But everything else that makes contact with the vehicle is going to have a foam pad or a rubber coating on it. That's one right here, and of course down here in our door jamb. So you are good to go, and you don't have to worry about anything getting scratched up. They took care of you. It will stick into your channel that the window goes in your door. So on my driver's side, I did have a little bit of contact, but it is powder coated, so it's not going to be metal on glass. But as you can see, as I roll it up, it does hit it a little bit. But that's only on my driver's side. Initially, I had like a little tiny little streak right here, and it came off. It wasn't a scratch. so you don't have to worry about it scratching because of the coating. That's always nice. But on my passenger side, I had no problems at all. Well, everyone, that just about does it for our look at the Wheelmasters Vision Plus extendable towing mirrors on my 2001 Chevrolet Tahoe.